In the final weeks of Joe Biden's presidency, a growing body of internal emails, now under Congressional and Justice Department scrutiny, reveals a system that relied heavily on verbal orders and informal documentation for issuing presidential pardons. At the center of this improvised machinery, so-called blurbs. Emails reviewed by the New York Times show that senior White House staff frequently recorded Biden's oral decisions during closed-door meetings in short summaries drafted by aides who, in many cases, weren't even in the room. These summaries, referred to internally as blurbs, were used to justify the use of an Autopen, a mechanical device that replicates a president's signature on clemency warrants affecting thousands of individuals, including political allies and members of Biden's own family. Stefanie Feldman, the White House staff secretary who managed the clemency process, reportedly required only these blurbs as written confirmation before authorizing Autopen use. No audio recordings, transcripts, or physical signatures from Biden were required. In some cases, decisions affecting hundreds of convicts and several high-profile figures, including General Mark Milley and Dr. Anthony Fauci, were processed with no direct documentation from Biden himself. Critics argue the system raises serious questions about the transparency and legitimacy of executive actions carried out under Biden's name.
Blurbs are not legal instruments. They're internal notes that wouldn't hold up in any courtroom, yet they were used to process decisions with life-altering consequences.
The revelations come amid Republican-led investigations into whether Biden, then 81, was fully engaged in the duties of his office, or whether aides quietly stepped in to carry out major policy decisions on his behalf. The Autopen's use, on at least 25 clemency warrants, has become a focal point in these inquiries. White House officials maintain that Biden made each clemency decision himself and merely delegated the physical act of signing due to the high volume of pardons. But the reliance on staff-drafted blurbs, often passed around among top aides like Chief of Staff Jeffrey Zients and Counsel Ed Siskel, has drawn comparisons to the kind of government by committee that critics say erodes accountability at the highest levels of power. Some legal scholars say this method, while technically permissible, exposes a deeper issue: the fragility of executive oversight when a president's mental acuity is in question.
This isn't about the legality of the Autopen. It's about whether the president was meaningfully making these decisions, or whether his staff was running the country through a signature machine.
As congressional subpoenas mount and former Biden aides lawyer up, Blurbgate could become a central flashpoint in the debate over Biden's final days in office, and whether the American people were truly being served by the man they elected, or by a team quietly working behind the scenes.